Well, good afternoon. 4:44, and it's Monday, the 6th of January. This is the video for the 7th of January. And it's been working on me since the one that I did for the 4th of January. Of course, well, no, the one I did on the 4th for the 5th. That's the way I mean it. And I, of course, agreed to have done the video with David or Dave, so that interrupted this. But this is the topic that I'm going to do for today. Actually hinges on the one that I did the day before yesterday, as you're going to be hearing it if you're listening in sequence. However, before I even read the title, today the idea that came up in the conversation with Dave of twin flames has been really heavy on my mind. And I may do the video for the day after tomorrow, today, for not tomorrow, but for the following day, because tomorrow I've agreed with Peter Van Run to create a video. So I may be doing another one after this one, because both of the topics are working very, very much on me and lots in my thoughts and my feelings. The title for the one that I'm doing today, which isn't the twin flame one, the other one is a twin flame one, but this title for today is Qualifications for Human Rights. Birth in a human body. That's it. This idea came to me after my last video, the one before the conversation with Dave. There are a lot of people out there saying, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. I fell for that myself for a time. It's bullshit. This idea came, wait a minute, whoops. Yes, we live in a world where the entire system has violated our natural rights. There have been constitutions written to acknowledge the rights we are endowed with by our Creator, and then people violated those constitutions, granting us so-called privileges. Others teach us to fill out certain paperwork and learn a certain language. All of this and more BS is because we live on a planet co-opted by demonic psychopaths. Nevertheless, the truth is that there are no qualifications for human rights except to be born human. Anyone or any system that violates that is committing a crime against humanity and against creation itself. Period. If you listen to a lot of the sovereignty and free man advocates, and I have done that for a long time now, for several years anyway, a decade approximately, actually a decade, 12 years probably, since 2001. In any case, I have gone through the route of creating UCC1s and claim of rights and all sorts of affidavits and paperwork and more paperwork. And it's important that I have done that because it has established for me a basis for understanding how to live in this world where everything has been, as I said in the blurb, co-opted by insane people. Now, it's interesting that the insane people, if you want to call that the Illuminati, the founding fathers of the United States were Masons, and you might consider them Illuminati from the 18th century. And yet they gave us the Declaration of Independence, and there were certain forward-thinking people like Madison and Jefferson especially, who wanted to secure natural rights as mentioned in the Declaration of Independence, but they were enshrined, if you will, in the Bill of Rights. And even in the 20th century, as psychopathic as it is, when they founded the United Nations, the Declaration of Human Rights reiterated many of the same rights and expanded even on some of those rights that were given to us in the Constitution, specifically the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. And it's important to know our history. It's important to know where we are. But it's also important to get back to basics. And I'm tired, quite frankly, of doing paperwork and paperwork and paperwork. People like Franco Collins and Jagamara and many others provide an invaluable service in teaching us history, teaching us civics, teaching us law, teaching us even better theology, to get our minds and hearts and consciousness, if you will, around certain things, to make the unconscious conscious. This is all an important part of our process of evolution, our spiritual evolution. But the foundation for human rights comes in creation itself, at the very beginning. Not at the end of evolution, but at the beginning of evolution. Life grants the right to life. Just because you have it, you have it. And you've been given life. And life has certain rights, especially in... See, I almost even hesitate to say that humans are advanced. But humans are advanced in this part of creation anyway. Okay? Animals have feelings and express emotion and display emotion, but they're not at the same level as humans. Humans have intellect, not just instinct. And I don't even want to get into arguments about that, because I know how passionate some people are about animals and think that animals are actually more intelligent than humans. Well, they may be less problematic, but I don't know that they're that they're more intelligent. But I do know this as far as human beings go. We're children of God. We are born in a creation that was created by a prime source creator. And the prime source creator gave creation abilities to certain levels of beings that were created beings. Or were they? Were we actually created beings, or were we born beings? I don't know the answer to that question. I suspect that we were born beings and not created in the sense that some things are created. But I don't know that. I don't know that. That's a supposition or a theory on my part. In any case, all that it takes for me to have rights, as I'm looking at it now, is for me to have been born human, to exist in a body at this time on planet Earth. I have rights that have been made conscious to humanity. And as I said, enshrined in paperwork, beginning with, as elemental as it was, the Magna Carta, the Great Charter. And it has come down beyond that. There was, even before that, actually, the Golden Rule, the Hammurabi's Code, and things like that were enshrined in our consciousness. They were put there, and we began to recognize a higher truth. But the highest truth of all is that rights were bestowed in creation itself. Now we have to go and discover. So that's what they mean when they say, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. What they really mean is that's not a true statement, by the way. You have rights just because you're human. The truth of the matter is, if you don't know your rights, you're going to be taken advantage of, because there are people and or beings involved in Earth's evolution that do not respect rights, do not acknowledge them, do not want to even consider that other humans or other beings have rights beyond their own. The golden rule is violated continuously on our planet. And so it's important when a policeman stops you to be able to ask the right questions, and questions is the important thing. Do not respond to the policeman's questions. If you are intelligent, you're going to respond by asking, not by stating. And this is important to learn. However, that's not the foundation of where our rights come from. It doesn't come from how much we're able to learn. It doesn't come from how many pieces of paper we've put out and what words we've put on the paper and what order. It doesn't matter our behavior and all of these other things that the sovereignty people teach you about. They're all important only because we live in such a convoluted world. And it's convoluted because free will is violated again and again and again by people claiming authority over other people. That's called slavery, folks. And when you submit to the authority of someone else against your will, you are being a slave. And you're not exercising your rights. You may not be aware of them, but you have them nevertheless. You don't have them because you've learned something. You don't have them because you've done certain things and you can speak a certain language. No, you have them because you're you. And my heart longs for a world that works for everybody, as you've heard me say again and again and again and again. But what does that mean? I'm looking for something that has global impact. Like if the CVAC system set up by, as I understand it, by Swiss Indo, building on the OPPT, those are built on foundational truths that ultimately have the capability of being universal, when I say universal, global in scope, and filling the whole world with a new consciousness, a new awareness, where we're not going to have to be all the time proving to each other that we have rights, because everybody's going to be under oath and bond that serves the public, and the whole thing is going to be not about greed and about getting the most that you can possibly get and taking advantage of everybody else and using all of the resources for your own benefit. No, it's going to be about learning about service, because you have rights, you also have responsibility. You have the responsibility to consider those around you. You're not above them, you're equal to them. Equality is a basic fundamental truth. All men are created equal. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal. Declaration of Independence, 1776. That's what the OPPT filings were all about. Returning us to that concept, that principle. It all derives from creation. And that's the foundation, the only foundation that we can build on to build the new heaven and the new earth, and build the kingdom of heaven on earth, or the kingdom of God, sky earth, as Mr. Sino's vision, and the UN Swiss Indo. And the UN, there are people there that have high ideals, just as there were people in the 18th century that were Illuminati and Masons that had high ideals, like Jefferson and Madison. Were they perfect? No, they weren't. Are we perfect? No, we're not. Do we have a ways to go? Yes, we do. But we've got to start on and stick to foundational truths, that no one has the right to have authority over someone else and to demand and coerce subservience. That's a slavery system. That's the system that we've lived under, and it's the system that we have to rise above and come out of. And that is not going to happen in 2014. But the foundation of the ability to do that must rise, because we cannot keep going on with the coercive, manipulative, criminal activities of our current governmental and economic system. It's a corrupt system, and people need to become aware of that corruption, and you need to know that your birthright is yours because you were born. It's a birthright. The government didn't give it to you. The government can't take it away from you. You can only relinquish it because you're not aware. You can do that, and people do it all the time, and we've all done it most of our lives. But it's time to know the foundation, and the foundation is in creation. And that's the point that I'm wanting to drive home for you in this video, that you have unalienable. That means nobody can put a lien on it. Unalienable. That means they can't make you an alien, okay? They can't make you outside of it. You are part of it because you were born in the family of God. You were born a child of creation, if you will, of the Creator, of the prime source. Okay? You were born from that. That's your innate gift that is given to you by God, if you will. And it's really, really important that we build where we're going, that we build it on that foundation. And that is the foundation that all religions, including Christianity, including Muslim, including Hinduism and Judaism and Buddhism, all of the major religions and even many of the minor religions, they point to that, although they may twist things around a little bit, and because of the nature of the psychopathic, demonic elements that have wanted to control and enslave humanity. Know who you are. You are a child of God. And it doesn't require, that does not require anything. And anybody that feels that they have the right to take advantage of someone because of their ignorance is operating on very shaky ground if karma and if divine justice have anything to say in this stage of our collective evolution as spiritual beings. Thank you for listening, and I may do another video before the one on Peter, but Peter's video will be the one that I will air next. This one again will be for the 7th, and Peter's will be for the 8th, and the one on twin flames I think will probably be the 9th. And I'll do that later today. But again, thanks for listening, and namaste.